All right, man. We're live.
What's going on?
We are live. Jon, do you go by Jon Young or Jon Tyler Young?
Jon Young.
Young?
Yeah, Jon Tyler Young, I guess. It was available on Instagram, so I took it.
I like it. It looks good.
Yeah, hey.
It matters what your handle is on
Sounds
Instagram.
professional. It looks professional, so.
It does.
We'll take it.
It does. I think we get right into how the hell we even met.
I know. Oh, my God. Yeah, great story. Great story. Just taking a flight home. Row 28.
Row 28.
It was,
we have a group chat, Row 28.
Yeah, we have a group chat. You, me, and Zack.
Man, Zack.
Shout out to Zack. How you doing, brother?
Yeah.
You see, this is how connections are made, man.
It's funny, man.
And yeah, we're just chatting it up for, oh my God, almost the entire flight. You know, I usually go and sit in those things and just keep my head down, throw my AirPods in, and just sleep or watch a movie or something.
Yep.
Or read a book. But no, it was too good when we were just a couple of old heads just talking to this young kid and I guess trying to help him guide him through life. And not that I know anything, but it was fun.
We all know something, you know, and he actually was he was a bright kid. Like we talked about it before we jumped on here. Like he was a bright kid.
Yeah.
He had a good head on his shoulders for 22, I think he said he was.
I was a dope at that age, man.
Oh my God.
Good for him. Good for him. He seemed like he was doing the right things, you know. So
he was definitely more polished than I was.
I was proud of him. Man.
Yeah.
Our son over there.
That's our boy. That's our boy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, super cool, man. It was a great flight. It was great getting to know you. We've kind of from time to time checking on each other. Hey, you know what? And so when you said you were coming out this way, this felt like a good time to reconnect and
absolutely
take it a little further.
I mean, I've been checking out the podcast. I told you I like the vibes. I like the positivity. It's good messaging, you know, and you're fantastic on the mic. You're a great talker, and I enjoyed talk. We talked for almost 5 hours on a flight. You know, I figured we could spare another hour in a podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, this is good. Now we can get to the nitty gritty too. We kind of we went over a lot of stuff over those 5 hours, but we're gonna take a deeper dive. We're gonna put it on camera.
Yeah. That's all out there.
Yeah. So
sorry, guys.
Yeah, no, we're not sorry. Actually, enjoy. So a little bit about you, and then you tell who you are far more better than I do. But yeah, I mean, actor, producer, director out in California. Been doing it for how long?
But it's about to be 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. So,
okay. And what got, like, where does that ambition come from? Why did you want to?
Oh man. Well, if you want to jump right into that, we'll jump right into that. Oh man. I mean, it definitely was doing kind of musical theater and plays and such. I'm very manly, by the way, but yeah, musical theater and stuff growing up. Really enjoyed that. But obviously, I was also a baseball player and played some football as well.
And was it? Where'd you play?
Yeah, well, I'm from Old Bridge,
okay.
Down in Central Jersey, not South Jersey, not North Jersey to the South Jersey.
Gets forgotten.
Yeah.
Central Jersey gets forgotten.
Yeah, grew up in Old Bridge, went to Rutgers, all that jazz. And then, I was doing kind of the musical theater play stuff growing up. I really enjoyed it. I was in an a cappella group in college while also playing on the Rutgers baseball team at the same time, which some of my teammates gave me some slack for that, but that's all right. You know, you take it, take it well. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm not singing on this thing. All right. My singing days are, you know, I mean, if they pay me, I'll sing, but no,
exactly.
Yeah. And then, so basically we're getting right into the nitty gritty, definitely not where I thought my life was going to go. But, I had the unfortunate circumstance of losing my parents at a very young age. I appreciate that. It's been a long time now. It's been 10 years. So, we're kind of, the grief never stops, but, you move, you can move forward and all that kind of stuff. But basically what had happened was, I never thought I was going to be doing this. I always liked it, but, I love movies and I'm fascinated by film, but I never really thought it was realistic. And then, when that happened, I just had this epiphany, I guess, where it was like, you have, when you see it firsthand, you just realize that life is very short, and I just knew that I wanted to try and strive for something big and, something that I could get a lot of value out of, internally, and obviously it's just, I enjoy the chase. I enjoy chasing something. Obviously I'm very passionate about movies too. I just didn't think it was realistic, but when you see stuff like that, right in front of your eyes, it's definitely, it was a motivator. It was a motivator to do it. So after college, I worked in Manhattan for 3 years as a construction manager, but secretly on the side, I was taking acting lessons. I was, learning as much as I could about how that industry works. I didn't want to just jump right into it. I didn't think that was probably the best move. But so I was working in Manhattan for like 3 years, secretly plotting to get into it, and eventually I was like, all right, I have this experience in a corporate job as a backup. Not that you should ever have a backup. You should just go for it. Yeah. But I did, just to make my family happy. And eventually it was just like, all right, it's time. And I could have done it in New York. I thought about doing it in New York, but I don't know. I just felt like with the whole change, I just really wanted to immerse myself and kind of step into a new chapter, and moved over to LA, and obviously, I've had some successes, and it's been an interesting ride. It's been a wild ride. So
you're in LA too. We talked about that a little bit. LA's a trip.
LA is it's LA.
LA is LA.
It's LA. I actually live in Orange County now. I lived in LA for 7 years. I still go into LA, to work and such, but Orange County is a little more my vibe. LA it's a little wild for me. So
So you go out to the West Coast, and you never been there before, or never been there before?
I went, the first time I went was about, I don't know, 6 months before I moved there to go
feel it out.
Just to go see what it was like. And I was a young guy. I mean, I was 24 at the time, so it definitely was exciting. I consider LA a very fun place to visit. To live there,
fair. It's a good way to put it.
Probably not for me, but I really enjoyed my visit there. I went with a friend, and we were just going and scoping it out and seeing if I should do it or not. And then I was like, I could vibe with this. Then I just moved out there 6 months later.
And so you get out there. What's the first thing you do? How do you start taking steps to maximize your dream, or start maximizing your dream?
Well, the original plan was to go into acting, and I'm still in that space, but obviously we kind of moved past that a bit as well. But the first thing I did was I hopped. There's like sites for where they post acting jobs, and you can submit yourself, but you definitely want to try and find an agent or a manager. You're not gonna get, unless somebody I didn't know a single person in LA. I had one guy who was a friend there that was not even related to the industry, and that was it. I just was like, screw it. I think I can do it. I believe in myself, and you have to, or else you're never gonna get anywhere. And then so I didn't know anybody. So I was, trying to navigate, how do I get an agent out here? How do I do all that kind of stuff? There's a lot of resources. It's easy to find. You're not going to get into CAA. So you have to be realistic about that. You're going to start with like a lower level agent who's kind of on your level, which is trying to build something for themselves, and they'll get you opportunities. They're good. They're hungry. They will, that's good. That's what you want. You want people who are going to pay attention to you. Because sometimes at these bigger ones, you kind of get lost in the shuffle.
That's going to happen.
You get lost in the shuffle. They're definitely there's a lot more money going through the bigger ones, and they follow the money too. So that they're definitely pushing the people who are making the money more. But when you're starting out and you're with like the lower level agent, it's good. It's good for you. They'll get you a lot of opportunities, and you can't stress about the ones you don't get because they weren't meant for you. You know, so you get, it's they say acting is being, and I always kind of wondered what that meant, and I feel like I finally figured it out. It's, you don't have to try and do anything. You just do it how you would do it. You just be like how, that's a place to start at least. And when you get to when you get to more challenging roles, then you have a lot more experience under your belt, and you can maybe mold your performances more.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah. That makes sense. So you get out there, and did it take you a while to find an agent? How did you navigate? Like, what kind of agent? Obviously, you want somebody who's going to believe in you, push you, give you opportunities. Did you deal with anybody who didn't work out?
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing I did to try and get an agent was I sent. I don't want to. I guess I'm giving away all my tips and tricks here, but I sent.
It's good. Yeah, let these
yeah. It's not a competition.
Yeah.
But I'm just messing. No, The first thing I did was I got like 150 manila envelopes, and I put my headshot and my resume in there and just sent them out to like a ton of agencies, even the big ones too, because I'm not going to claim that. I'm not going to claim that I've been learning the whole time that I've been going through. So it's been 8 years. So obviously, in hindsight, you figure out a lot more in hindsight. But I sent it out, got like 3 responses. So I was like, okay, so at least 3 responded.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't end up going with any of those. There's on one of the sites, it's called Actors Access. There's something called Talent Link. And so that's a really good resource for you young actors out there. And they connect you with, smaller agencies trying to, add to their rosters that are, trying to build their own thing. So I found my first agent there, and I got a bunch of meetings that way with a bunch of smaller agencies. So, vet them all and figure out who seems like they're going to be, the hungriest one to try to get me out there. And I found one, and kind of immediately, started booking some bit roles with them, which was good. A lot of my friends are gonna love this one, but one of the first movies I did was Alien Predator.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. No. You think
my mind went somewhere, but
no. Yeah. It's funny because everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks it's the big Alien Predator is I guess we would consider it a B movie. It's like a knockoff of the actual Predator movies, but it was it was so much fun. That was one of the most fun sets I've ever been on.
Really?
I mean, we all knew what the movie was. It was so much fun. All the people working on it were amazing, and the other actors were so much fun. I still talk with a lot of them. That was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so but just kind of got out there and started getting some bit roles, and slowly building up.
So that was your first film?
My first film, I did a few student films here on the East Coast before I moved there, and then I did a short film over there, that I went through, basically submitted myself before I got an agent. So those would be the first, but that was the first one that I got, through my agent that was like a full feature length movie, and I was like, I'm a star, man.
Yeah.
Oh, am I allowed to curse on this?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Fuck
unfiltered. Yeah.
I'm a star, baby. Alien Predator.
It feels good though. That's an accomplishment.
Oh yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Oh man.
What else are you supposed to feel?
Oh man, I was so excited about it. I'm still excited about it. I mean, it's it's an interesting movie, I would say. But go ahead and watch it. It's on Amazon. But
I love the fact that, because this, I think one of like the gems that I'm plucking out of this, what you just said, is you put 150 headshots into manila folders. You put in the work. You go and you send out your stuff to everybody. I think sometimes too, people think it's going to get handed to them, or I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely as an actor, you're thinking like, oh, I'm talented. That's why I'm
correct.
So people are going to find me. But no, you gotta,
anything in life, in life, like everybody, and you should believe in yourself. Yeah. But the effort you put out, this is a very competitive world.
Yeah.
Especially entertainment.
It's a very humbling industry for sure.
It is humbling.
You realize how small you are, until you just do. So it's good for you though. It's good for you.
It is. It teaches you a lot. Ups, downs, all of it is knowledge. Especially if it's going to hurt. There's going to be moments that hurt.
Oh yeah.
But again, in life. So like, I love the fact that you just took the initiative. You go out there instead of, I'm here, navigate, enjoy LA and all these different things, and just try to shake and bake. Like, that's a little bit of an extra workload that you put on yourself to go and get what it is you knew you needed to get to excel.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I didn't know anybody. I didn't know a soul in the entertainment industry. I just thought that was, I just felt like I belonged there, and I felt, that was kind of the goal, the life's mission that I wanted to do, and I just knew that nobody was going to give anything to me. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to just hand it to you. So, you can't just go out there and expect it to come to you. You have to make something for yourself.
You have to make something for yourself, and it sucks because I'm in the music side. I've been in the music side far more than acting or whatever. But
similar.
It's all very relative. But what I especially nowadays, like when I mentor, or manage, or talk to young talent, like the one thing I always say is like, your talent is second. It's the bonus. It's like how talented you are. It's great. Like, don't get me wrong. I know some wildly talented kids, young talent, like fantastic. But what are you doing to separate yourself? What are you doing to stand out? How hard are you working so that you get recognized? Because I can recognize it because we're behind closed doors and we're talking and listen to music and understand like, wow, you're dope. What are you doing though? So when you think that you're really dope, that's a battle for, I think, especially when you're young. It's like when you got something, you've been given a gift, and it's it's special. You kind of think, especially when you're young, like I deserve it. I'm good. I'm better than, quote unquote. But it's subjective.
Man, you got to leave the ego outside the door.
You have to. I like work ethic. I'm a big believer in that. Like, how hard do you work? How hard do you go after? I'm 35 years old. You're
31,
right? So
we're getting old.
I'm 36 next month. I'm 36 in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
But like, I have not taken my foot off the gas. No matter how many times I navigated in different spaces or was chasing something or wanted something, because I've always known I'm special. Like, I know it. I feel it, right? And that is ego aside. I just believe in myself so thoroughly, right?
Yeah. You can not have an ego and also believe in yourself.
Correct.
There's certainly a distinction. I mean,
definitely.
You don't need to have an ego to believe in yourself.
No,
at all.
I think people misinterpret confidence for I am confident.
Confidence is good.
Confidence is good.
You have to be confident.
You have to be confident. And yeah, I know for myself getting, and you can attest to this, I'm sure, because even just that one story, the work that I put in is what got me anywhere. It was the relentlessness that got me places. I constantly would continue to shape my talent and get better, and that comes with time too. You start understanding a lot about yourself and your skill set, and it always, you polish it over time. But I would separate myself based on work ethic. I was always in your face. I was always working. I was always doing shows. I was always doing something. I was always doing interviews. I was always posting on social media, as we talked about earlier. Like always, like relentlessly. And social media has kind of created a thing where I think people expect to go viral. I think they expect that like a moment happens and then life just changes and stuff like that. It can.
It can, but it's still building, it's still a process.
You have a better chance of going viral if you've been doing it for a year and you've built this little community.
You're giving yourself more opportunities.
You've given yourself more opportunities. Yeah. Correct. So you're limiting yourself. So I love that. So all right, Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah. I wish it was Alien vs. Predator. I wish.
Yeah,
but
the one.
No. Like I said, I mean, that movie, working on that movie was amazing. I know it's not, it's not Marvel, but I had so much fun.
It's a step in the direction, man.
Such good. Yeah. I mean, that was definitely, I guess I forgot to mention too. And one of the other things that I did right at the beginning was, I did a lot of background work. That's pretty easy to get into.
Now, was your purpose, was it like a combination of, okay, it's a film, I can be in it, or was it also relationship building? Like, did you do those and take those opportunities?
The background work was, I just wanted to get on sets. I wanted to see what that was like.
Yep.
And it's just good. I mean, especially where I'm at now, kind of producing. I'm producing a movie, so it's.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But it's just good to. I feel like I'm not the guy who's like an expert in everything at all. That's why you surround yourself with people who are. But it's good to have with any business. It's just good to know, what each job is, and I think it's important to know. Background people are. It's not the most glamorous life. They come and they're very excited. I mean, me too. Obviously, when I was doing it, it's fun to be on a big set and learn and just see what it's like and be behind the scenes. And so it was beneficial in that way. Definitely a good learning experience.
Did you go into it with that like mindset, I'm going here to learn as well. Like obviously it's an opportunity, and of course, but like, was it a combination of here I am and I'm here to learn. I have a goal. Like I might produce down the road. I might this. Like, was that your mindset at the time?
I always thought about directing. The producing part, I just happened to be built for that because, like I said, I was a construction manager in Manhattan for 3 years, and I'm telling you, it is exactly the same job. It's exactly the same job. It's just a different scope. But no, I mean, when I was doing background, definitely the number one goal was to get on set and learn. But I mean, I also was thinking, it's a route to get into the actors union. It's not the best route. I don't recommend that as being your way of getting into it. You need to audition and try and get roles. That's the way to get in. But it was a way, if you do that enough, you can get these things called vouchers, and you get 3 of them and you're in the union. But I never got one. And I did that for, like 6 months probably. I did that until I got the agent, and so that's one thing. And then also the other thought, which is it's crazy in hindsight, but you have this thought, you're young and dumb, and you have this thought like, oh, I'm gonna get noticed in the background and they're gonna make me the lead role.
I know. That's why I'm asking, because I know the mindset. I get it.
I mean, of course I had that thought.
Of course. I'm just pulling it out of you, because I've been there too on the music side, like just being somewhere thinking like I'm gonna I'm at a showcase with 30 artists, I'm the one. Like, until I realized it's a money grab too, like putting this together. Not to say you can't get noticed, but No, I mean, I obviously had that thought, but after doing it for 6 months, I realized that was just not going to happen. I did it for 6 months. I felt like I learned a good amount, and I saw the hustle and bustle of it all, because I think people don't exactly, people see the result, what goes on the screen, but they don't see everything that goes into it. And especially on the big ones, it's certainly, there's a lot that goes into it. So many mechanics, so many different departments and teams and all that kind of stuff. But I got what I got out of it, and then got the agent and was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So it was money helping to pay the bills, but it wasn't enough money, so it was, it's. What were some of the movies that you were in the background of?
Oh God. I did a lot of Arrested Development. Oh God, what's that? Unbroken. I recall being in the background, and hey, look for me in the background, guys. Yeah,
I can't wait to go look.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm gonna be watching all these like episode whatever I got to get to, and be like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even know. I have no idea what episode they're in, but I definitely did a lot of Arrested Development. And what's that? Oh my God, it's like the Young Sheldon. Show.
I've seen that pop up.
Yeah.
I've seen that pop up.
Sheldon. This was years ago.
Yeah.
This was like, I think
it's on Netflix, right?
I'm not even sure.
I think it is. Because I see it. It's like
I thought it was like on cable. I thought it was like
it might be,
NBC or something, but maybe they bought it or something.
I have a funny feeling, because I imagine I'm for whatever reason I can see the font.
Yeah.
I think it's on one of the streaming services.
It was fun. I remember Young Sheldon was actually one of my favorite background experiences. It was the first time that I ever talked to like a producer of a show. The producers just tell me where to walk, but it was I was like, oh my God. Wow, they usually have, a production assistant talking to me. So it's, this is a huge step up. This is going to be it. No, it's just,
yeah. So, all right. So now what's the next thing? Like, all right, you're still figuring it out. You're still going through the motions. You have these opportunities. You're learning a lot. Then what? Like, was there a moment that hit and it's like, all right, now we're in it?
Well, we'll definitely down the road. But I think it's important to say, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. You think, you're getting these things, and then I'm getting, I get this movie role, and I get these two bit parts in these movies, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. I'm gonna break out soon. But then things quiet down. I think for the next year and a half or 2 years, I probably didn't get a role at all. And you're
still the agent's working.
Still have the agent. Yeah. But they know it's part of the game. We know it's part of the game. It's, you're not going to book every role. So that's just how it is. But you get discouraged. You get it's like, oh my God, what happened? I thought I was, on this right track. So, I mean, I'm just working like regular jobs for a while. I'm still, like a waiter and all that, all the random, normal stuff that all the actors
The waiter,
are
I
doing.
feel like the waiter is the job.
That's the job. Yeah. So, just kind of
when you got to LA and you go to the restaurants, you look around, you're like,
so cliche, man.
It's
so
very
cliche.
noticeable. Yeah.
I'm that guy. But did that for a while. It was fun. Again, worked with a lot of good people, enjoyed it. I just knew it wasn't for me. I'm not trying to do that forever. But yeah, I mean, it's important to know that it's not always going to, you're not going to be so crazy successful constantly. There have been several large lulls over my career. So, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, I'm crushing it every second like of the day. Not at all. So, but actually during those that year and a half or 2 years, that's when I got together with a bunch of friends and was just like, let's make stuff. Like, what are we all, you're a writer. You're a writer. I'm an actor. We have all these actor friends. We have director friends. We have
what's stopping us?
All these people who are in the same boat as us, who are trying to build something for themselves. So we're just like, let's organize. Let's make something. Write something. You write something. We'll make them both. And then for over that year and a half, 2 years, we were just making stuff, making short films, sketches. I'm not gonna. They're not Marvel, but they were fun. They were funny. We enjoyed making them. We learned a lot.
Super important.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely started to take on the role of like producer and like organizing everything because I just had the biggest knack for it out of everybody. And
that kind of just happened. Did you go into it like that, or was that one of those things that as you're rolling, you pull these people together, you're kind of the leader of whatever. Did that come from you?
I'm not gonna pretend like I did it all by myself. I certainly had help, but I think just more on the kind of the business and organizational side. I mean, we weren't exactly incorporated at the time. We're just picking up a camera and making stuff. But I think just in sort of that organizational side, budgeting and all that kind of stuff, it just kind of fell on me because I had the most experience.
Yeah, even as a project manager.
That's exactly. So, but I mean, that's not to say that I didn't have like a ton of help. I mean, everybody's
their role.
Everybody's working for free.
Correct.
We're all the amount of stuff I've done for free. Yeah, that's another thing for you young actors out there. Do stuff for free. I mean, not forever, but do stuff for free.
Exposure's exposure. Opportunity's opportunity.
You need to. Yeah, I mean, well. Money is obviously important, but footage is also gold.
Yeah.
It's really hard to get good footage of yourself. And that's a really good tool to get yourself other jobs. We have something called a reel. I'm sure you have stuff like that in music for sure, where you have like tidbits of all your music. So we have a reel with all our acting in it. And I mean, footage is gold, especially when you got nothing.
Yeah.
You're a really hard sell, on a show or a movie if you have no footage.
Yeah.
So you just have to be that much. You just have to be that great during your audition to really get that. And something like huge is good luck. Good luck getting that. Footage is gold. You got to do stuff for free. How are you going to be seen? How are you going to be? And on camera, it's important. I'd imagine like. Whoever's looking into you or whoever or looking for something, they're going to want to have a good feel as to like how you act, how you look, what are your facial expressions, how do you talk? I mean, all that stuff matters. All that stuff matters. So you have the year and a half. I was going to ask you, like, how did you stay motivated? It seems like passion projects, little projects, things you're doing is what kept you moving. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I knew that this was my mission. This is what I want to be doing. I don't want to be a waiter, I mean, nothing wrong with it, but it's just not what I want.
Your goal.
Not the goal. So yeah, I was still getting auditions, so that's kind of, that's like work, but it is really hard to get an audition.
Yeah.
I mean, I do casting now too, so I know what it's like on the other side, and it's not, we'll get into it, but we're casting for a movie right now, and we're casting for a movie. We got about 6,000 or 7,000 actors, trying to get the roles. So, and we only pick like somewhere between 50 to 100 for the first round to just audition, so that your odds are low. I mean, because we can't look through 7,000 videos of people. It's just doesn't make sense. So, that's why you need good headshots. And when you submit your headshots, they've got to look like you got to have the look that the casting director or producer thinks, matches the role. And you can tell as you're casting, when you're seeing all these headshots, you can tell who looks the most like it, especially if you have the vision. So, I mean, I was still auditioning at the time. Very hard it's not easy to get auditions, but you still get a good amount. I mean, there's times where I have, there's times where I have like 5 a week, and then there's times where a month or 2 go by and you get nothing. So, and it's actually funny because I haven't had an audition for like a month, and then I come here and I'm like I've been very busy recently, but I come here and I'm extremely busy and I don't have my setup and everything, and I got 3 this week, and I had to do them like makeshift something together, at my buddy's house that I'm staying at, and it's just crazy how it happens. But
are a lot of the auditions
most of them are virtual.
Virtual, yeah. I was about to say.
Most of them are virtual. Yeah. Definitely not for me. I like being in person.
Yeah, me too.
I like being in person. I think that there's an extra element to it, which is, you can have a face-to-face conversation with these people. You know, I mean, although on the other side, I'm on both sides. So on the other side,
it's a lot easier.
Just so easy.
It's a lot easier.
So easy to do, have them self-tape and send you a video.
Yeah.
It's way easier, and then you worry about going in person when you narrow it down to like the last few people. Then you go in person because you want to meet these people. You want to interview these people.
Do I even want to work with this person?
You're going to be working with them for a while, so I mean, it's just easier. It's easier, so I get it, but I hate it on the other side. So it's I hate to be a hypocrite, I guess.
No, I totally understand why it would be easier as a producer, director. Totally understand.
Yeah.
For an actor, I would want to be in your face. I'd prefer to have a conversation or be in person. Like I don't know. I guess everybody's different, but I can totally understand that sentiment.
Yeah,
totally.
I mean, ever since COVID's basically
it shook everything.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah. Once COVID, I think I started in 2017 or 18, probably 2017, and so that was 3 years of basically everything in person and almost no self tapes. And then once 2020 hit and COVID hit, everything became self tapes.
Yeah,
and
jobs are the same way. So many remote jobs. Now I work from home primarily. I'm in the city once a week. So it shifted every industry. So it's a totally different world nowadays, for better or for worse. I don't know. I guess you could argue both sides. So you next year and a half goes by. Why'd you say a year and a half? Like what happens to the year and a half that it's like, oh, well, shit, got something? Or
so at the end of the year and a half, I ended up booking a guest star role, which is, I mean, I ended up it's crazy how it happens. Like, you end up getting cut out of a good amount of it, but it's a bigger role in like one episode, or there's different levels to it. So there's background, there's co-star, there's guest star, then there's recurring guest, or there's also recurring co-star, then there's guest star, recurring guest star. There's like levels. So like obviously if you have a guest star, that's you mean a good amount to one episode. If you're a recurring guest star, then your role means a lot more to a few episodes, and then there's series regular. So this is for TV. I mean, obviously movies are supporting lead, all that kind of stuff. But for TV. So then it goes all the way up to series regular. So I got this guest star for this show called Hollywood it's on Netflix. It was a limited series, one season. The beautiful title of the role was Football Player Number 12. Go one of those. But hey, he wasn't worth the name. But I was with I mean, the only thing that ended up making the final cut, I mean, you don't know what goes on behind or in the editing room, but the only thing that ended up making the final cut was me, I guess, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say fondling, but kind of like getting passionate with Paget Brewster, who's like a very famous actress. I think she's on Criminal Minds, and she's very, very lovely to work with in an intimate situation where everyone was very respectful and all that kind of stuff. But that was the only thing that ended up making it at the end of the day. And right after that, basically, it must have been within like 2 weeks, I ended up booking a series regular role, which is like the best possible role you can get on a TV show for Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty on HBO.
When you told me that on the plane, I was pretty jacked up because I think it might have been months prior I watched it.
Yeah.
So and I haven't. I actually should go back and watch it again because I want to see.
Yeah, you'll see me in episodes 4 through 10.
Yeah.
Very. That was a wild experience for sure.
It's a good show. It's a great show.
It's a great show.
It's a great show.
It's unfortunate that it got canceled.
Yeah.
I feel bad. The second season, didn't. Well, the whole show didn't get the ending it deserved. But I mean, I was there for the first season, and it was a pretty incredible experience overall. Definitely, the amount that I learned on that show was pretty incredible. I think, I was there for like 10 months. I was training with LeBron James and Steph Curry's trainer, the guy that, and Chris Paul, a ton of the guys. Don Robin, great guy, really nice guy. I lost about 45 pounds over a span of 4 months from
working out, from basketball workouts.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't exactly directed to do so. They wanted me to lose a little weight, but I wasn't exactly directed to. But I kind of decided, I'll go all the way down to 180 and be the same size as the guy, Brad Holland, great guy. I met him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I met him. I went to a barbecue. His twin daughters invited me to a barbecue at their house, so I met their whole family came. Wow. They had this whole setup with like pictures of him and and during his heyday, and he was such a nice guy.
How surreal is that too? If you're like somebody who somebody's playing, and you look at them and you're like, well, that's pretty surreal.
The funniest part of that was that we were there, and I took a picture with Brad and his son, and his son happened to be wearing. We were both wearing like a black T-shirt and khakis or something.
Yeah.
So we looked pretty similar. I mean, obviously I looked like Brad, back in his day, but he's an older guy now, so it's. So we don't quite look the same, but his son though, I was standing right next to his son, and they were like, "Oh my God, you guys look identical."
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I guess we do. He's a good looking guy,
That's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's amazing, dude. I'm a sports guy, so are you. So I'm sure that in itself was like pretty sick to be able to relive that time, which we weren't a part of. We weren't even alive. But it holds significant weight in the sports world.
Yeah.
And you got to act.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff they were doing was really unique and interesting. They were using, cameras from the 80s, 90s,
It had that
70s.
feel. It had that feel.
They were using film. They were, which is not something that most productions do anymore because film is expensive. You got to keep swapping it out, and then you have to digitize it after. So there's a lot of mechanics that go with making stuff with film. Everything's pretty digital now, but they're doing a lot of cool things. The sets that were built were really extravagant. We had a full they made a full basketball court inside a studio and with stands and everything, and then kind of the upper stands are CGI'd in, but it was pretty incredible. Basically every day, working with guys like Adrien Brody and Wood Harris, great guy. Jason Segal, John C. Reilly. Who else is
legends?
There? Yeah, I mean,
these are great. It's a great list. It's a great crew to be around.
Yeah. It was a very interesting experience. You kind of it's one thing when you're seeing these people on TV, and it's another thing when you're spending every day with them, and just kind of seeing them work. This is what I'm saying.
Because work is work. We see what's on the TV.
Yeah. I learned a lot from them, and I learned obviously being background is one thing. Like I said, I was learning about sets, but being more on the the amount I've learned is just insane. Especially about, definitely about the business side of it too. Just learning from the producers, but obviously from the actors. Just learning about acting, about kind of how to push your career forward, and all that kind of stuff.
Best piece of advice that you've gotten from.
Oh,
all right, hold on. Best piece of advice you've gotten. We're gonna go two-part question. Best piece of advice that you've gotten from one of those actors on set, and what was it?
Well,
who and what?
I definitely learned the most from Wood Harris, for sure. Maybe I don't know if everybody knows the name, but you've definitely seen him. He's Avon Barksdale in The Wire. He's in Remember the Titans. I don't remember his name in Remember the Titans, but he's in Space Jam. He's very
awesome.
Well-known actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah,
I think he's fantastic.
I don't know. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he's a really, really good dude too. My brother's actually like a massive fan of his, and it's not really typical for you to be on set and ask for like photos with people. It's just not professional.
Yeah.
But I was telling him how my brother's like a huge fan of The Wire and like a big fan of him, basically. So, but he was like super nice and was like, let's get a photo, let's send it to him, let's say what's up.
That's dope. I love hearing that, dude.
Yeah, really nice guy.
I love hearing that. I have a funny, actually, I'll tell you after, because it's hilarious. It's totally left field, but it's hilarious. Similar situation where they asked me if I wanted to take a photo. Totally left field, and I'll explain it after. But what was the piece of advice? What's the number one thing that he told you? It could be life related. It could be as an actor.
I don't know that I have like, a specific, like life lesson that he said. It was more of just on a day-to-day basis, kind of little, he didn't have to do this because one of the things about, when you're dealing with the A-listers, we know them, we talk to them and all that kind of stuff, but it's not, you're not having the crazy deep relationships with them. They got crazy lives, and we'll get into that too, because I think that's I don't want to get not into their personal lives, but just what they deal with as people being of such prominence. But I think for Wood, especially because he was also a player on the team, he played Spencer Haywood, and we had to act in a scene together where he's on crack and he kicks my ass, basically, which was a lot of fun.
Oh my God. Yeah. I remember the scene. That's hilarious. That's
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
shit.
So that was, not like, obviously I didn't have the biggest role on the show, but,
that's a memory.
Yeah.
That's
it was amazing. I made the opening credits, which is I thought was really cool. And obviously I was there for like 10 months and just, like I said, learned a ton. Wood Harris especially, I remember doing that scene and he was just kind of, talking me up and making me feel just confident in what I was doing. And, he was kind of like helping coach me through it. And I appreciated that, because I felt like that was my time to shine, and I just appreciate it. Every day was kind of, he was sitting right next to me on the bench. We were bench players, which was good. I was a baseball player in college, not a basketball player, so it was, I did get a lot better at basketball.
Yeah, you better.
We trained with this guy who trained he trains LeBron James, Steph Curry. He's like a very prominent basketball trainer, and they hired him on the show to train us, and I got a lot better at basketball. I dropped a ton of weight. I used to be able to rim graze before. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'3". I'm not short, and I'm athletic, so I could rim graze. But by the end of the training, I was like windmill, and I was like, yeah,
Wow.
I was up there. I mean, maybe not quite a windmill, but I was
a little half windmill.
I was getting up. I was getting
something.
up there. I'm like, oh man, this is all I had to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, Wood is just kind of every day. He was sitting right next to me on the bench, and every day kind of just going over things that are happening, you know, so that you know, I learn more about decisions being made, you know, and acting specifically, you know, how to make choices, why you make choices, being bold, and you know, putting yourself out there, and definitely, you know, obviously within context of the script. And it just kind of was, it was more of a, I wouldn't say like there wasn't a specific life lesson, like I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it went.
You kind of
it was more of like, yeah,
experience.
it was more of, you know, kind of just learning about how everything works, and he was super helpful, and he was a really confidence boosting guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like took the time to make sure that he
He didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to do that. I wouldn't say, you know, like I said, there's no obligation on anybody to do anything. And,
Yeah.
you know, he obviously didn't have to do that either, but he did, and it was super appreciative. I mean, I know a ton of the guys that were, you know, on the team were very, very appreciative of you know, his help, and just a lot of the things we would do, would watch guys like, you know, Adrien Brody and Jason Segal, who were the coaches, and he would, you know, kind of just walk us through what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing, you know, and it was just very helpful. So for us in the future, you know,
that's awesome
for future opportunities. And such.
That's cool to know. He seems like that kind of guy.
He's cool. He's very chill.
Yeah,
man. He's very cool.
But I only see him act in various different roles and whatever. So that's actually, it's amazing when you meet those kinds of celebrities, you know, who are A-list celebrities.
Yeah, he's really such a chill guy.
Yeah,
such a good guy. I mean, he definitely was the strongest relationship I had with the, you know, that level of guy. I mean, we were very friendly with the guys on the team, you know, that were all this was kind of all everybody's breaks, you know. So you know, I mean, it was an overall, it was just a, you know, it was so grand. It was so grand. It was like nothing else that I had done before.
Yeah.
And so,
just soaking it all up.
I was very, very green, you know, and you know, sometimes you got to take a step back and realize that, you know, you think you know things, but you don't know it at all. And then you're there and you pick up a lot of experience and learn a lot from it. And so, yeah, I mean, overall, it was really cool. I mean, there were so many crazy things that, you know, about it. I mean, the premiere was like was a highlight for sure. I mean, that's like, you're really, you know, we're on the purple carpet.
Yeah.
And that was really surreal because, you know, you see them on social media or, you know, in the news, you see stuff like that. But
those are moments, man. Those are monumental moments. Those are moments that you take, like you, especially you look back, like earlier in the conversation talking about, I go out to, you know, LA to be at that point. Yeah. It's, you know, it's a big moment.
I'll certainly remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely, man. As you should.
It was you know, I got like a bunch of tickets, so I brought a bunch of friends, and it was just it was a very, very I don't know, gratifying experience, I guess. You know, it just felt like the things were full circle. You know, I came out here to do the thing, and I did the thing, and I'm here, and it was great. It was great. It was awesome.
So what you mentioned earlier, like you know, not getting too deep personal stuff, but like the difference between what you recognized, like, you know, you're where you're at, and then you're looking at these A-list celebrities. You know, what is there?
Yeah.
What are some of those things you picked up on that you mentioned earlier? That
well, yeah, I mean, something we were talking about before this is you know, something I have done a terrible job at over the last 8 years is self-promotion. I'm not like a big social media guy. I enjoy my privacy. I don't think that I don't know. I just don't feel the need to post all the time and show everybody what I'm doing all the time. You know, I enjoy just living my life with my friends and, you know, having a good time and all that stuff. But, you know, as you know, obviously I've been making much more of a social media push recently. But I mean, one of the things that I found, you know, there, you know, it's just watching these guys is just their, you know, their level of prominence. They they don't have a lot of privacy. They kind of you have to like live, they have to live their lives a little differently. I mean, obviously they have access to a lot of great things, but I mean, you know, you hear stories like Michael Jackson or Denzel Washington or whatever, they can't go to the grocery store and stuff like that. I mean, I was a bit rolling that thing, man. I wasn't, you know, I mean, I was in like 7 episodes and I definitely wasn't, you know, like a lead of it, you know, not at all. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I obviously had my like 1 second of fame there, I guess you'd call it. And just the amount of attention that came to me. I mean, I can't even imagine what they're getting.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even, I mean, I saw what I saw, but I can't even imagine what they're getting. And
it could be wildly overwhelming. I could only imagine.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of happened in a flurry, you know. I mean, I kind of let it out there that, you know, I got this role and I'm in, you know, Variety magazine and Deadline and all that kind of stuff. And so I kind of, you know, I released that to let people see and you know, because I was like, woo, you know, I did this thing. Yeah. And then just from then on out, the flurry of attention was crazy. And I, you know, the whole time I thought to myself, you know, this is what I wanted. This is, you know, what I came out here. I thought I was going to enjoy that side of it more, but ended up realizing quickly that yes, it was overwhelming. There was a lot that came with that. You know, people that you haven't talked to in a while. I mean, obviously people are happy for you, but you know, just a lot. It just was a lot. I don't know. It was a lot. I mean, I don't want to get too far into this because this is also like a stressful thing about it. I had like a stalker for a while. That was just I was going to get a restraining order against this person. It was, you know, me. I'm not like I said,
had no idea who they were.
I know who they are. Yeah, I know who they are. I don't want to put that out there, but yeah. So that was kind of crazy, but that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of, you know, this and this and this and this all from a bunch of different directions. And so, yeah, I mean, I realized over, you know, during that, I realized that, you know, I definitely the attention or the fame. I mean, it never was a really big motivator for me, but I realized that it was basically no motivator for me at all.
Yeah.
You know, after that, and I was nothing on. You know, I was nothing compared to, you know, obviously the leads of the show. You know, it's small role in 7 episodes, a couple lines, you know, here and there, and that's about it. So
still, you're still pursuing it. Pursuing, I mean, everything.
Yes, so
how do you feel?
I talk about this obviously with friends of mine all the time. It's the thing about it is I am not going for, I don't want the attention, but with what I want to do, I enjoy the creativity. I'm definitely a very creative guy. I like playing make believe, I guess you could call it. And so I guess you know, you just have to realize that it comes with the territory, that if you want to do those things,
like it could happen.
If you want to do those things, it's, you know, because I'm in it for the art. I'm an artist, man. I'm an artist.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I am really, I enjoy the art. I enjoy the creativity of it. I mean, I enjoy the team like aspect of it, and all these people coming together to make something fun. So I mean, it's the thing that I'm the most passionate about. I love it.
And you stay there. I think the crazy part is knowing that if you're going to stay there and you're going to put it out for people to see, whether it be as an actor, a producer, director, what can come from that based on.
I got a little taste of it and I was like,
it's
I don't know about all this.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely, it's a thing, you know, that hits a bit myself, understanding like just attention and people like looking at you a certain way or watching you or whatever, you know.
I don't want any attention, but I'm on this podcast right now.
Yeah, here we go. I'm the host of the podcast. Yeah. I don't want any attention.
Nothing.
I love it. Listen, I love it. I think that to not have the fear, because there's a lot of fears, bro. Like I think about a lot of this stuff that can come from it. I do. Yep. I think about it especially more than ever with my family. You know, there's a lot. But like you, I'm creative. I love being creative. I want my creativity to be put out there. You know, it's not like I want to be creative and keep it to myself and draw pictures and put it on my refrigerator. You know, I love it. I love being a consumer of amazing art. And so because I enjoy it, doing it myself, I don't want the fear of what could be and the attention and stuff stop me, but it's a thought. It's always a thought. It's always a thing that sits back there, like, and it could be something that holds me back to some degree. Like, I feel like going all the way. Like, I remember being 22, 23, 24 and not thinking about it at all. Yeah. And I remember that feeling and being free.
That's how.
Yeah, there's something beautiful about
it. Same exact way.
Yeah, so, and I almost feel like that's why almost entertainment is a young man's game and, you know, a young person's game, because they go so relentlessly towards the goal and they don't have all the experience.
I was there.
Yeah. You know the feeling, right?
I know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it could come with the territory, but it can't stop your train. You know, you got to keep it on the track, keep rolling, keep doing what you got to do. And there's ways to do it where you're not the center of attention.
Yeah. I mean, if that's not what you want. Obviously I'm not, you know, going around saying, "Hey, look at me, everyone." You know, I we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But you know, obviously, you know, making a movie, so
that's what I wanted to.
I have to, you know, I have to promote it, and I have to promote myself. You know, I need to get, you know, some sort of following, some sort of, you know, I want to sell this movie eventually, and marketing, it's just part of it.
It's part of it.
It's just part of it.
It is. But now I think what's cool is that your experiences have now kind of given you some clarity. It's not to say you don't want to act or won't continue to pursue. You said you got auditions.
I still, you know, I still do that sort of thing. Yeah. I mean, I nothing that big since, but yeah, I mean, I still have a whole team, you know, agents, managers, all that kind of stuff, and we're still. But
this gives you this producer, like doing a movie, like you mentioned, this now gives you an opportunity to be creative, come up with the whole thing, you know, because I think when it comes to the attention we were talking about, you know, and people and what can come from it, a lot of times that gets put on the person they see on camera. Yeah. So you've now.
That's what I mean, that's like definitely a large part of the reason why I wanted to get into it. Yeah. You know? Because right after the show, you know, here's something else they won't tell you, you know, that you know, kind of happens. I mean, I did the show and you kind of have this feeling like, obviously I saw all these, you know, you have this feeling that, oh, you know, this is it, man. Now I'm going to be, you know, huge. Yeah, we're going to, you know, it's going to be consistent again. It's going to be consistent. It's going to be the one role after another, after another. But kind of right after the show, things just kind of fell off, you know, basically immediately. And, you know, we try and leverage it to get the next thing. But again, like I've said way earlier on in the podcast, if you don't get the role, it's not for you. So, you know, there's been a lot of roles on the way that just haven't been for me. I mean, you know, you got to be able to accept rejection. So, and you know, that's just, I've been rejected and failed. Like, I couldn't even tell you the amount of times, how many auditions I've had over the last 8 years. So it happens a lot, but it only takes one. So, but basically, so there's kind of a fall off, you know, it's pretty crazy how there's all this, you know, you're up here, you're at this high point, you know, you're like, oh, this is what I came to do. Everybody, you know, you did it, you accomplished kind of getting to where you wanted to go. But then you come back down here and it's like the life gets sucked out of you. You know, you had all this right here, and then, you know, for the next however long, you know, it's gone. You're like waiting and expecting for something else to happen. You know, I'm getting better opportunities. I'm getting, you know, I'm moving up in the agents and managers. I'm getting better representation. And you're thinking like, oh, you know, the next thing's going to be coming around, and then it doesn't. And yeah, it just kind of sucks the life out of you. So I was like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I just did this great thing. Like, shouldn't these things just be coming to me? But at the beginning you said they don't just come to you. You gotta make it happen. So after that show, you know, like I said, I mean, I really, really got fascinated by the process behind the camera, you know, and the creative process behind the camera and what the directors do, you know. And I obviously I was still producing short films and such the entire time, you know, and obviously not during that time, but in between that or after that, we're still doing some short films and such. But I knew I wanted to be behind the camera as well, and I wanted to direct really in the future. And so I started a production company. I was like, okay, what can I do? I'm tired of waiting. I don't want to, I got to stop thinking like the next opportunities are going to come to me. So let me start creating opportunities for myself. I have more to leverage. I have more experience. I've met so many more people, that I can get involved in stuff. So started a production company, started making commercials, and started making social media content originally, but then moved into the commercial space, so we're building up our commercial, making funny commercials, and building that up, in terms of tier levels of the level of quality that we can make. I mean, we can make any quality. We could make a Marvel, movie if we had the money to make it.
It's always the budget.
It's always the money. So, but we're actually one of the things so I started this production company. We make commercials for some, decent sized brands, Sleeper, FabFitFun. If Sleeper is like a fantasy football app. I don't know if you use it.
I know it,
but they're definitely our.
I try to avoid gambling because I lose every. Oh, fantasy football.
Yeah, well, they also have like the picks stuff.
I lose fantasy football.
We make commercials about their picks, pick stuff. Yeah, well, don't we all? But as long as we all had that 1 year.
Yeah, I have yet to have that 1 year.
Oh man, that
I lost the championship this year, but we agreed to split the pot. So,
you came out on top.
You came out on top. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we started making all these commercials. I mean, Sleepers definitely, they give us the most money to make them, so which is we love doing stuff for them because we can make the best stuff. And so we started doing that for a while, and we've been doing that for a few years now. And then but it's still, commercials are fun. They're easy. It takes like a month and a half or 2 months to make one. It's not that crazy. I mean, but it's still not where I want it to be. It's not the creative outlet that I want it to be in. So about 6-8 months ago, I was just, I'm behind the camera. I'm doing the stuff I like to do, but it's still not there. And about 6-8 months ago, I had this movie idea for years, and I never wrote it, but I had it for years. I mean, one of the things that I specialize in personally is being able to get a lot of production value out of a low budget because we've never had high budgets. So we've only been able to do it with low budgets. So, I had this movie idea that I could pull off, with not a high budget. I knew that we could make it work. I mean, we can't pretend to be, we'll make a good movie. It'll look very professional, obviously, but it's, in terms of things like locations, there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of actors in it. There's a lot of things that are just less. We'll have like a backpack crew with a backpack kit, which is just, we don't have all the crazy equipment, but we don't need it. It's the type of movie where you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's called Enjoy Your Stay.
Nice.
6 to 8 months, probably about 8 months ago, I started writing it. And it's on like draft 10 now, but it's, that's
it's how it goes.
Yeah, how it goes.
Yeah. I don't like this.
Yeah. So about 10 months ago, I started writing this movie, Enjoy Your Stay. And basically wrote it a bunch of times, got to a point where I felt like, okay, this is a good script. This is fun. It's a movie that I would like. I know that much. So, I got to this point. I sent it out to, I was working with some friends on, tightening the script. And then there's this grading service that for, professional writers in Hollywood, basically, give you grades. We sent it through the grading service. It got a good grade. I mean, by several people. So it's, now we're feeling a little more confident about it. We're like, and for something,
I never knew that was part of the process.
You don't have to do that,
but it does give you some.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you. Yeah. I have obviously professional writer friends who have looked at it, but it's better to have an unbiased.
I was about
opinion.
To say, your friends are your friends. They're gonna.
Yeah. My friends are gonna be like, "This is awesome."
You greatest script ever.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is gonna win every Oscar. So. Yeah, no. So you send it this grading service. I mean, it's also a tool for pitching. You know, you get a good grade, you can use that to pitch. And then yeah. So you know, obviously got a good grade. Started lobbying. You know, started going to resources that I had that of people who I thought might be interested in investing into a movie, because the thing about making an independent movie is, and I'm so upfront about it that I'm going to be upfront about it right here, is that it is a very, very hard sell. It is an incredibly hard sell. It is a very risky investment. It's not a shoo-in. So I have to tell all these people that, you know, I cannot guarantee you that you're going to, you know, see a return from this.
Yeah.
But since we're working with such a low budget, if you do see a return,
it could be
it's going to be substantial.
Yeah.
Now we're going to make something good. That's for sure. Like I don't want the low. I always tell them I don't want the low budgets to scare anybody, because this is what we do. I mean, we've been making stuff with low budgets for forever, and the only difference now is that, you know, I've met so many people along the way, so many filmmakers along the way, that they're so excited to be working on this thing, you know, with me, and kind of they believe in the script and the vision and stuff like that. So I've been able to talk these amazing filmmakers into coming and helping me at a friggin' steal, you know, and they well,
that's what your years of experience and resources.
They know that. They know how. I mean, there's obviously a lot of ways that we help them out, you know, so that it's not. I mean, everybody. The thing is, the only people that I even want to be working on this with me are people who just love making movies. Because at the end of the day, you know, for me and for other people who are, you know, the producers on it, we're not necessarily making money. So everybody's taking a pay cut. I mean, a lot of people are losing money on it potentially, unless we can sell it, because that's going to be a very, very big challenge. Let me tell you about the movie. Let me sell it to you. I was about to say, what? Yeah. Let me sell it to you. Let me sell it to you. Enjoy Your Stay is about a married couple who's on the brink of financial disaster. And then a pair of diamond thieves come and stay at their rental house with $20 million worth of diamonds. So they scheme up a plot to steal them. And it is a comedy thriller. It's going to be a very fun vibe. A lot of comedy that it's Judd Apatow-esque. A lot of thriller and storytelling aspects are coming from Quentin Tarantino. So it's the type of movies that I like. It's the filmmakers that I'm certainly, you know, a big fan of. I love comedy. It's a dark comedy thriller. There's going to be some very edgy shit in there that it's definitely not going to be. It's not for the weak. It'll have an R rating. I promise you that. It's not, the comedy's not going to be for the weak. So there's definitely some edgy stuff in there. I'm, you know, kind of going back to, we're saying like putting yourself out there and promoting yourself, and talking about, you know, I guess I would consider it a fear of mine. Sure. I don't love it, but obviously I have to do it. But I believe in this movie so much that obviously I've gone out to people and said, hey, you know, help me make this movie. And I believe in it so much. I think it's going to be such a fun movie, and it's going to be, you know, I mean, in terms of in terms of the actual movie making, I mean, the guys that I follow, I mean, are obviously like Kevin Smith, who would be Clerks, you know.
Love Kevin Smith.
I'm trying to get in touch with him.
Silent Bob.
Yeah. I'm trying to get in touch with him. I'm trying to get him in the movie, actually.
Wow, that'd be sick.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Smith, man.
What's up?
We're sending this to you. So,
what's up?
Yeah. I'm look for my email. Yeah, so I mean, I want to get him. I would love to get him in it. I mean, he's so huge in the independent filmmaking space.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's going to be tough to get, but
yeah, you just will it.
We'll work it out. We'll work it out. Hopefully he likes. Hopefully he likes the story, and you know, hopefully he's proud of me for going down the indie route. And yeah, I mean, we'd love to have you, obviously, but you know, I mean, we're gonna have to reach out to several recognizable people to be able to sell the thing, you know. I mean, it is
a name really, will help.
Yeah,
a name will help.
It's a name will help. A name will help. But yeah, I mean, I love the idea of the movie. Obviously, I wrote it, so I'm biased. But
you have to be.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just the type of movie that I like. I know I would like to see it. You know, if somebody else was making it, you know, it doesn't have to be me.
So yeah, learn as we go.
It's been 8 years for me, man. And
Yeah,
I still don't know everything.
It's
So
been like 8 weeks for me.
hey, you're crushing.
Yeah, we're getting there, dude.
I mean,
Thank you.
You can always. You know, I can help you out. Whatever. You
Yeah.
hit me up. If you have any questions?
I
just
definitely
let me know. I mean, I'm not. I wouldn't call myself an expert, but I certainly have come a long way in 8 years. So.
I've been more in front of the camera, more like the beginning of your, and never really. I was more like looking over people's shoulder and being like, I like that. I don't like that. So I have a good vision.
Yeah.
I just don't know the tech. I knew no technical stuff.
You just get better, and I mean, you can always self-teach with YouTube. I mean, that's how I started doing it, and then I started picking up more from, I mean, when we hire, people who've been doing this for 10, 15 years, it's, and then you just pick up a ton from them. And my director of photography, I always, he gives me such a fucking hard on when he says technical shit that I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, dude. I am so happy. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is the best, man. That's how I know it's going to be good.
Yeah. Like voice recorder to even like have an idea of what the hell.
Yeah.
Look back. Yeah. Some of the things I work with like producers and stuff in music, and they go into all the layers of what they do to make my voice sound a certain way, and they'll go down this rabbit hole of like this and the EQs and about the blah, blah. I'm like, I just gotta. This is how I want to sound.
I've done it before. I've done some sound design because when we didn't have a budget to do anything.
Yeah.
And I don't care if we don't have a budget to do anything. They're doing it. Somebody else is doing it that knows way better than me. That shit is hard, man.
You gotta have everybody play their role.
Really tedious. It's really tedious.
And they have to be passionate about it to be great.
Yeah.
That's not my passion.
No.
It's not where I'm at.
I like editing.
I love editing. I mean, I actually don't look at it like a job at all.
No, I find it fun.
Yeah,
I find it fun. I think. I mean, we're gonna have editors for the movie, but I wouldn't. I mean, I could do it probably, but I mean, we're gonna have editors. It's just better to have people who do it full time than me. I mean,
can't wear too many hats.
Maybe, yeah. Too many hats. Yeah. So, where the heck were we?
Well, you got the movie. The movie. Yeah. We're gonna get Kevin Smith.
We're Kevin Smith, man. Thank you for signing on via this podcast.
I'm taking all the credit when it happens. Nah.
Hey, man. Hey, you'll get your agency fee. I mean, from my director hat and writer hat, I want to get the people on the movie that are the best for the roles. I want to find those gems. They're out there. Half the people that I've ever worked with. I mean, obviously, the people that I've worked with that are, A-listers and so on. The people that are working on the big stuff. But I've worked with so many people who have not gotten their shots. I've worked with so many people like that who are super talented. And and just people I like and that I bring on to stuff that I like, commercials I'm making and shorts I'm making all the time, and I know there's more people out there that are like that. They're super talented. They're just unknown. I mean, there's a ton of people like that. So I definitely from my director and writer hat, I want to find the right people for the role that are gonna portray the roles how they're supposed to be portrayed. But then you got the producer hat, the hat that's not my favorite hat. It's the business side. You have to think about, how the heck am I going to sell this thing? That's going to be the biggest challenge by far for this. That's going to be the biggest challenge. I know that we're going to make a good movie. That much I know. I mean, but even still, you could make the best movie of all time, and even still, if you don't have a recognizable actor in it, if you don't have, a lot of distributors are looking for is what is the collective following of the people working on the movie, because they want to know that you got somebody with 1 million followers. They want to know that at least one post and 1 million people are gonna see it, or something like that, or close to that. So the producer hat, I have to think about it. I definitely can't just be like, I can't just be so F you to the business side of it, because I mean, I kind of am, you know, just for creatively.
Because you're creative.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm a guy who, I don't have a lot of followers, you know, I think, you know, I believe that I'm a talented person, and you know, that I have a lot to offer creatively. So, you know, just from that standpoint, there was just an interview with Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke's daughter, and she was talking about how, you know, it's a shame that you know, producers have to look for people with and how many followers they have, you know, because she's saying essentially the same thing, you know, that there's just so many talented people out there who are right for the roles, who are just not getting the opportunities because they don't have the follower count.
Yeah, it's a tough balance you got to find. You know, the home run is a big following and the right role. It's gonna be
balanced. The casting is gonna be balanced.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be more than half will be just, you know, unknown people who are obviously talented and fit the roles, but we'll try and get a recognizable actor in there, you know, if only for a day or two, or you know, a few scenes. We'll try and get one of those, and then, you know, we'll have to. I'm not taking anything away from the talent of people with a you know. I'm sure there's tons of people who are extremely talented that also have a million followers. I mean, it's just going to depend on, you know, we have 7,000 people that are trying to be in the movie, you know, so, or at least trying to get the audition. You know, we have to sift through all those and you know, whittle it down to one for 6 roles. So 6 roles between 7,000 people, 6 roles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, that's what we got to do. So it's going to be a mix, you know, and there's a good chance I'll have like a friend or two in it that, you know, would be lesser known. But like I said, I mean, these people, I've been working with them for years. They're super talented. They're good friends. You know, they just haven't gotten their shots yet. So I mean, you know, they're auditioning too. They're not. Nobody.
No handouts.
Nobody's getting handed anything,
handouts.
and they're all aware. I've told. You know, I'm always upfront with everybody about that kind of thing. You know, I want you to get it. You know, I want it to be you. I do have to do my due diligence and obviously make sure that we get the best people, you know, for the roles.
Film. I mean,
it's important that we put they know. You know, they know.
Yeah.
They know that, you know, I've been working and hanging out with these people for years, and they know that I you know, they know I want it to be them, but they also know that I have to, you know, when you're putting yourself out there like this and like taking this plunge, it's a big deal. You know, it really is, and I hate to think of it that way, but you know, you're really putting it all out there for everyone to see what you can come up with creatively. And, you know, even huge $100 million movies fail. So, you know, it's a lot of pressure on us it's both a lot of pressure on us to do it, but it's also no pressure because I'm sure a lot of people don't expect much. So hopefully that's a good thing, because
it's a good way to look at it.
That's a good thing because, you know, I mean, we have what we have to make the film. We have what we have. I think we could do it. I feel pretty confident about it considering what we've done in the past and who I have coming to help me make it. So I feel pretty good about it, but, you know, I'm ecstatic if there's lower expectations, because then we're going to pleasantly surprise you. And I think I really think people are going to enjoy this film. It's a fun vibe.
I'm excited. I'm excited for you, dude. I really am. It's cool to know that however long ago we met. To see you take this on like this and watching, I mean, you don't post a ton on social media, but you're certainly posting more on social media, right? And so I watch, I see, you know,
you see,
I see some things. No, I do. I see some things like you'll pop up once in a blue moon, and it's good to see you doing it. It's good to see you taking, you know, the initiative to create something that you want to create. I love it. I love that in general. When I see anybody, whether I know them, I don't, like that kind of gets me going a little bit. You know what I mean?
Me too.
It does. I get excited because I know that feeling. I know what it is to do it personally. I root for people that go after it a certain way. The movie sounds like something that I would watch as well. So I will. I'm going to support this.
I appreciate that. It's very character driven, and you know, I would say that none of the main characters are exactly likable, which is something that a lot of movies don't do. You know, they want you to. Most movies, they want the characters to be more likable and help you relate to them. But I don't like the characters, and I don't want the I don't want the audience to like the characters.
Yeah.
Then the ending's very satisfying.
Yeah, and then
We'll put it that way.
Strangely enough, though, when you don't like the characters, like a show like Game of Thrones, for instance, like there's a couple characters in there that you don't like.
Yeah.
You don't like them.
Yeah. But they're fun to watch.
You damn sure respect the fact, like you actually appreciate them.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or you don't, you like, wow, they crushed that role.
There's not everybody in the whole movie is unlikable.
Of course, but I'm saying it matters to sprinkle.
Yeah.
To me makes film TV fascinating.
It's pop. Get your popcorn out, man.
Yeah.
Get your popcorn out. Watch what the hell are these people going to do? You know what in Game of Thrones, I mean, like,
they do some
like
shocking, vile.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, it's not vile. Our movie's not vile.
No, Game of Thrones has some moments where it's
they
like,
definitely do. Yeah,
like I don't even know
thinks of that.
Yeah, but like,
I don't even comes up with that.
I don't even know the person at all personally, right? Of course. And if I were to see them walking down the street, I'd be like, you did some sick shit.
I feel bad for the guy who played
Theo.
No, the king. Oh God, what was his name? Joffrey, the guy who played Joffrey. People hate him in real life.
Hate him, but he's a big.
Yeah, he's a huge part of the show. He did a great job. If you hate him that much, then that's how you know he did a really good job.
He did a really good job.
And the writing was good, obviously. Yeah,
one of the best. But what sucks for Joffrey, the actor, I don't know his name, but what sucks for him is that he'll always, you see him in another film, Joffrey.
Yeah, I know.
He's now in that box.
Yeah,
until he's not.
Yeah,
but he's in that box.
So that's actually really funny that you mentioned that, because I have reconsidered, over the years what my goals in acting are, and I've been saying for a while now, if as an actor my goal is to be, I've seen that guy somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
It's a nice place to be, because I'm
fine with that.
That's depending
great.
on what you're known for. It can get very interesting, like Tony Soprano, rest in peace. But Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini is always going to be Tony Soprano, forever. So. But look what it did for his life.
Yeah.
So I mean, who cares? I guess like you're Tony Soprano. That's a good one to be. Though.
No, I mean, listen, I wouldn't. I'm not. That doesn't not to say that I would turn down.
Of course, you also don't know if it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I like that. I don't know. I guess I like the thought of that. And the thing about, I guess, kind of going into the directing, going into that direction, the directing direction, is that, obviously I'm being, a little more out there and I guess more public now, but, a lot of the directors that I follow and know are not super over the top, out there and grabbing attention. I mean, Christopher Nolan's my favorite. Obviously he's doing interviews and such, but I like the thought of kind of what they do as well, which is, they do the work they want to do, and then you kind of don't hear from them.
I don't even know what Christopher Nolan looks like.
You don't? Oh man.
I think if I saw him, I'd probably be like, oh.
Yeah, but I probably have seen him before.
I know the name based on the movies, and so
he's my favorite. Yeah, I love him. I would love to make what he's making. I mean, obviously he's an unbelievable talent, and he deserves the budgets he gets.
Correct.
Obviously, he puts
what you're getting.
Yeah, the Odyssey is gonna make over $1 billion easily.
Yeah,
and I couldn't imagine. And he's a good writer. I think he writes with his brother on a lot of these things, and they're really, really good writers, and they have such grand idea. I have grand ideas like this too.
Yeah, but everybody does.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, everybody does.
Everybody does until you're quote unquote recognized, or gets you to a point where it's like fruitful.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's super subjective too. Fruitful could be, I'm proud I made the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be proud I made this movie either way, and I'm like not intending on it to be the only movie I ever make.
Yeah.
It's just it's going to be for sure the next 1 to 2 years of my life for sure. I'm obviously getting through it, making it, editing it, trying to sell it, festival circuit, all that kind of stuff is going to be through 2026 easily. So I'm going to be proud of it either way. I mean, he's an unbelievable talent, Christopher Nolan, but I would love, psychological thriller is my favorite genre. I mean, I love and sci-fi. I love most kinds of, I just love film in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, Interstellar.
That's what gets you going a little bit though.
Yeah. I mean, Interstellar is definitely my favorite movie of all time. I love it. I mean, I love Inception. I love The Prestige.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
So good, man. Everything he does is just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, I like all film. I love the Duplass brothers, which you probably don't know as well, but they you would know Mark Duplass if you saw him. Look up Mark Duplass. You'll know him. He's like in The League, that show The League.
Oh,
which I'm sure you've
seen.
Yeah. He's in. I mean, they make a bunch of movies. I'm following their business model. They make low budget movies. Our budget is is pretty similar to what they make their movies for. So I mean, maybe a little less, but
ballpark.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable. I wouldn't be going this far if I didn't know we could do it.
Yeah.
So I'm following what they do, and they're great inspirations. The Duplass brothers. They always say they're doing what I'm doing, which is they don't want to wait. They want to make these movies. Let's figure out how to, get enough money to make these movies. Let's worry about good writing, good characters, good actors, and just making a good movie.
Yeah.
And they've been very successful that way. They flip it around. They don't make, they're not making like hundreds of millions of dollars, but they're
making good movies.
Yeah, they're making good
Respected
movies, and
yeah.
they're able to push it into the next one. I mean, that's the goal for me here. I want to get to those multi-million-dollar budgets where I have a lot to play with.
This is what you do, though.
You have to build. Yeah, you have to build. It's the same thing with acting.
Yep.
Starting background, getting bit roles. So you got to build. You got to slowly build, and nothing happens overnight. They say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yep.
So it's been about 8. So I got 2 to go.
two more years.
Yeah. So
by the time this movie comes out.
Yeah. So
there you go.
I mean, I'm just super excited about it. I think I'm. Like we were saying before, I mean, definitely fear of mine is just putting myself out there too much. I know what I do. It's kind of like a weird cycle of, because I love the work a lot. I love being creative that way, and I like thinking outside the box that way, but I don't really care too much for the attention. But I guess you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you just got to suck it up and just be like, all right, I mean, this is what I got to do. So I'll do it. But here I am putting myself out there.
Now, this is good, dude. I'm happy we connected. I'm super excited for you. It's good catching up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hearing your story a little more in depth, and
we're gonna stay in touch. I have a good feeling.
Yeah,
I mean, we have already.
We have
just from a flight. So
it's funny how life works. Things happen for the right reasons. You're a good dude, man. I appreciate you as a human.
Appreciate you right back.
Yeah,
brother.
Still getting to know you, obviously, but you give me good vibes. I love creatives. I love creatives that I also like as people. Yeah. That actually makes it a lot more palatable.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're a good dude, bro. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for the movie. I think it's going to be fun to watch it all manifest and come to life for you.
Yeah,
and
it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun, and I appreciate you, playing a part in the ride, man. I really do, and more to come.
More to come. This is a start for our relationship, I guess, doing things like this. But now I have a better idea as to what you're looking to do, and however I can help the same way. You've mentioned it multiple times off camera. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. Let's keep the relationship rolling. I'm happy.
Just a note to the audience: this guy, for a guy who started this however many weeks ago, is crushing, man.
Man,
he's crushing. I don't have any tips. He's killing it out here.
I appreciate you, bro. I'm trying. Same way. I've learned a lot through my years in entertainment and as an artist, and navigating, managing people, and all these different things, and then being in the corporate space. I mean, I'm a passion person, man. I want passion projects. I need it to keep myself happy. So this feels right. This feels right. This feels good.
You're so good for it, dude. This is like the easiest conversation I think I've ever had. Yeah, this is like
ever,
maybe ever, maybe ever.
More than what's his name? Wood.
Well, hey, Wood, a great dude to sit next to. Definitely. I don't know. We obviously had conversations, but I did a lot more listening, and I feel like I'm doing a lot more talking this time around.
Well, this is that chair is supposed to be doing more talking. Yeah.
So. A lot more listening, which is good. Make sure you listen. Because, you'll learn a lot from other people who've obviously been, doing it for a lot longer than you.
Yeah. So be a sponge always. But no, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah. We'll hang out for a little bit.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then,
yeah. What a guy.
My guy. What a guy.
All right. Peace, y'all.
That's it. We did it.
Dope, dude. That was fun, man.
This is celebration, elevation, no more contemplation, no hesitation. This my destination.